What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Your boy, TheDreadMan, is back, and we're here with the NFL 4th and Goal podcast. As always, I'm your host here at my boy, Flipside. What's going on, Flip?
Not much, man, not much. We missed last week, but we're back. We're back.
Yes, definitely. Always we're back.
Come back.
Yes, definitely. And it's been an interesting past couple of weeks in the NFL with some surprising upsets, some injuries, and some more COVID-related stuff. But once again, that's pretty much everywhere. Anyway, oh yeah, and we're just gonna skip the whole the Packers and Niners prediction because that game was on last night, and the Packers more or less dominated that game. So I mean, the thing is, there's not really much else we can tell you about that. But yeah. Now, before we go any further, didn't I predict the Niners to kind of have a flat year this year? I kind of said that they were going to go like 9-7, 10-6, something like that. I mean, but of course, Wise didn't believe me. But I mean, the thing is, like I said, the season's only halfway over. Wow. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but I think their season's done. They have so many injuries, and then this whole thing with what was it? The dude on the Steelers, Chase Claypool. He just came out and said their practice ethics are just like terrible for them staying healthy. So that season's over for them. It's a wrap.
That and the fact that they still have 3 more divisional games to play.
Yeah.
Against the Seahawks. I know against the Seahawks, the Rams, and the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's a wrap for their season.
And they're going to drop at least 2 of those.
Yeah, maybe 3. I'm guessing 3 because their team is just demolished at this point.
Yeah,
it's like the Cowboys at this point.
Yeah,
it's not looking good for them.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, and they're 4-5, and the fact that they're in a stacked division does not help them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just kind of unfortunate. They had so many injuries. Their team was just built to go to the Super Bowl again, but it's just when you got all those injuries happening to you, Kittle's gone, Jimmy G's gone, Bosa's gone, after D-line is gone. It's like,
yeah.
What can you do?
Really?
It's totally.
Yeah. All right. But anyway, let's just go ahead and get right into the predictions for this week. All right, we got the 1-7 Giants against the 2-5 Washington football team. Who you got in this NFC least matchup? Giants, Washington.
It's looking like Washington might be the team to pick here because the Giants are just a mess. Daniel Jones is not their quarterback for the future.
He disappointed the hell out of me last week. If there was a choke of the week for last week, it had to have been that one.
Daniel Jones, yeah.
Jesus.
I don't get him, man. I get that he's like they said before he even came out. They said he needed maybe 3 years just to kind of get into a rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he'll do better on the next team. But the Giants are definitely going for Trevor Lawrence or somebody. They got to fix this guy at this point.
Yeah.
If Saquon can stay healthy to help him out, but I mean, going into that Giants team, their defense is actually doing surprisingly well in games recently. But it's just that offense sucks. I think Washington's offense is better off right now. Terry Lawrence killing it. Their defense is pretty damn good with Chase Young and Kerrigan. I'm leaning towards them in the team, even though it's a divisional game. It's probably going to be close, but I just think that Daniel Jones is prone to throw 3 interceptions this game or something. So
Yeah.
I got to go Washington 21, Giants 16.
Yeah, I more or less do. I mean, like you said, I have this actually being low scoring. To be honest, I mean, I don't really see either team scoring over 21. It's going to be one of those slow, draggy defense kind of games with no. But the thing is, Daniel Jones can make some things happen with his legs. But the thing is that you can't rely on that, especially with the front 7 that Washington has. You can't do that. And, not to mention, like I said, the Giants, they're hurting for a running back. So, what else do they really have? I mean, the thing, and also, they do have, their receivers, Giants receivers are decent. I won't lie, they're decent. But it's just the only problem with Washington is that they don't really have too much of an identity. And the thing is now, it's kind of too late in the season to really even have one. It's either you know who you are or you're not. But, I mean, to me, this is a safe pick for Washington. Give me Washington 17-10 over the Giants. Next up, this game is a very tricky game to call because you got the 5-3 Bears going up against the 5-2 Titans. The Titans are on a 2-game losing streak, and I didn't think I would say that at this point in the season. But thing is, you do kind of got to look at the competition the Titans face, so I kind of have to see that. So yeah, well, actually, like I said, two AFC North opponents, which I did not expect. I didn't expect them to lose to. I didn't expect them to lose to Cincinnati. Yeah, so yeah, the Bears. Despite their record, the Bears are still under the radar. But and the thing is, there's still people, even myself included, who are still questioning if the Bears are for real or not. Like, I mean, because you can question the quality of opponents if you want. I mean, the thing is, they had a dogfight with the Saints, despite the fact that they lost. They still had a dogfight with the Saints. So yeah, this is tricky. The Bears defense. I mean, come on, the Bears defense is legendary. The Bears is always known for their defense. Now with Nick Foles starting, he can actually make some magic happen for these guys. Some people call him a situational quarterback, but the thing is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, Mitch Trubisky, he's not the answer. I mean, that much is obvious. So yeah, the Titans. I mean, they can score, but their only problem is they play a little bit too sloppy. Especially when it comes to the passing attack. Ryan Tannehill, he's got to hold on to that ball, man. I mean, Derrick Henry's a goddamn tank, but even he can only do so much. Oh, man. And right now, it says the Titans are favored by 2.5 points, 2.5 points over Chicago. I don't know about that. Going ahead and actually, yeah, you know what? Go ahead and give me. I think they're going to break the losing streak in this game, so go ahead and give me the Titans over the Bears. 27-24. Yep, I got that. Yeah, 27-24 Titans.
I don't think it's going to be that high scoring.
Yeah. It's a home game for the Titans, by the way, so yeah.
And it's the Bears, that defense, if we're talking about the real deal, the reason why the Bears are 5-2 obviously is because of that defense.
Mm-hmm.
That's the obvious fact.
Right.
It comes down to, can Ryan Tannehill beat out that Bears defense through the air when most teams can't even pass them? So
yeah.
I'm kind of I don't know. All they have to do is just shut down Derrick Henry. We saw the Steelers do it. The Steelers killed Derrick Henry. I think he had 67 yards rushing or something.
Yeah.
It was just okay, if the Steelers can do that, I know the Bears can do that.
Mm-hmm.
They're both top 5 defenses.
Definitely.
To me. So when I'm looking at that, I'm just thinking, who's gonna outduel each other there? Is it gonna be Nick Foles against the Titans defense, which is alright, it's not the greatest, or is it Tannehill versus his Bears defense that I think through the first 4 weeks or something, they allowed 3 touchdowns total or something. It was some ridiculous stat.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just thinking of that, and I'm thinking, you just let Joe Burrow put 30 points on you?
Yeah.
I think Nick Foles can put at least 24 on
you.
So I'm kind of leaning towards this being the Bears game. I'm going to say the Bears win 23 to 20. I'll say.
All right. I could actually respect that pick. Like I said, it's going to be within a 3-point range to me.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, next up, NFC North Divisional matchup. We got the 3-4 Lions at the 2-5 Vikings. Now, the Vikings actually gave the Packers all they could handle the previous week, which is very tricky because the Lions are one of these little journeyman teams. He's one of those teams in the middle. They're also one of the teams who could, they could sneak and creep into the playoffs if you're not careful, if you don't watch these guys. So yeah, but I mean, of course, the Packers are on top of the North right now, but we'll get to that later. The Vikings are actually missing a couple of key players, and the thing is, they don't. I don't know what it is about them, but they're good for one quarter, good for one half, and they just fall the hell off the face of the earth. I don't know why they're doing that, but whatever. The Lions, like I said, the Lions to me, they're not a great team. I mean, the thing is, there's not one thing about them that sticks out, but they do have the potential to beat teams who are on paper better than them, and that's where they're dangerous. Is when a lot of teams underestimate them. That's why they're 3-4, and that's a right in the middle kind of team. Like especially if you want to, especially with it being week 9. That's kind of a decent record to have because you can go like a 3 or 4 game run and make the playoffs.
With the 7 games or 17 system this year. So, I mean,
yeah. So yeah, I don't see why they couldn't. But yeah, I feel safe picking the Lions in this game over the Vikings. Go ahead and give me the Lions in this game. 24-21 over the Vikings. Who you got? Vikings, Lions.
The way Dalvin Cook has been running, he's basically been on kind of on par with like Derrick Henry a little bit when he's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
As long as he's on the field, I think there's faith that Kirk Cousins can get the ball down the field. So since he's not, injured this game, and I'm looking at the Lions defense, I'm thinking they're a little suspect. They let a lot of teams kind of hang points up on them, and then they try to like make the comeback. The Vikings defense, they're not great, but they're all right enough to make a play against like a Matt Stafford.
Right.
I understand. I definitely get the Lions pick here because the Lions team, like they on paper, they're great. They're a great team. They should, be maybe like a 4-win team, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, don't I rely on Kirk Cousins this game?
Yeah.
It's like, man, you know what? Yeah, I'm going Lions here because I'm thinking of like that Falcons game when Matt Stafford kind of marched down the field and scored for him. And Kenny Golladay, man, that guy is like kind of he really is a baby truck.
Yeah.
Like he was just making grown man plays out there. They couldn't stop him. I don't think there's any corner on the Vikings team that can stop him too. I think it's going to be close though. I'm going to say 28-24 Lions in this game.
Alrighty. Next up, we got the Carolina Panthers against, the Kansas City Chiefs. The Panthers have a lot of holes in their game. But yet somehow, against a lot of teams, they managed to hang around against a lot of teams despite the holes they got. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater, the thing is, he's making do with what he has. And you got to respect that. Like I said, the Panthers defense is a shell of what they used to be. And then you got the Chiefs. Don't let that one loss against the Raiders fool you. They are still an offensive juggernaut. Like what else do you want me to say about the Kansas City Chiefs?
Super Bowl champs.
Exactly, Super Bowl champs. The thing is, you got Patrick Mahomes, and he has like 6 different weapons now. It's like, what the hell? 6 different weapons against a average Panthers defense. The only real key to victory I can see the Panthers having is if they keep the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands for as long as possible, and if they can actually get some turnovers, which they can do. But that's nothing that you can, that's nothing I can really count on. But going ahead and give me the Chiefs in this game, 28-17 over the Panthers. Who you got? Panthers, Chiefs.
I'm thinking just about the same right there for me too. Even with Christian McCaffrey back, it's just the Chiefs team on paper, just way better. Even with the Le'Veon pickup, Le'Veon hasn't been doing amazing, but it's Le'Veon.
Yeah.
You have Le'Veon Bell and Edward-Helaire back there.
Yeah.
Like, you can't ignore that, and so it opens the field for a Tyreek Hill and a Travis Kelce. So Mahomes throwing
and Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, and Sammy Watkins and B. Cole Hart. So,
yeah.
It opens up the field for Mahomes, and it makes it really difficult to rely on the pick at that point because you can't, key in on the pass anymore. So it's like, with that said, Teddy Bridgewater, he's been doing great this year. I think he was a great pickup for Carolina. They just don't have the pieces on defense to help him out yet. Maybe they do that in the draft this upcoming season. But I gotta agree with you. I'm thinking it's like 31-20, 28-17 is about right too.
Yeah. All right. Next up, AFC South matchup. We got The Houston Texans going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars haven't really shown me much this year, besides the fact that they pretty much go to pieces, after the second quarter. So, yeah. And the thing is, the Texans, as much potential as they have, their record should not be as bad. Especially when they've given a lot of good teams some dogfights. They really have. It's just that their problem is that they can't close the door. That's it. And, the fact that I think Deshaun Watson has been sacked at least once every single game this year. There has not been one game where I've not seen him on the ground. That O-line really does need to do a better job of protecting him. But despite that, he does have some weapons himself, and he can make plays with his legs. And I can't really say the same thing for the Jaguars. Like I said, the defense is all right. It's just that they don't really have a lot of pieces to work with on the offensive side of the ball. And Gardner Minshew was average at best. So, I don't really see this being that high scoring of a game either. But going ahead and give me the Texans in this game 20-17 over the Jags. Who you got? Texans, Jags.
I think this is actually a game where the Texans might be able to run away. That's kind of rare this season, but the Jags are just kind of defeated. They had like that nice little start where we thought, oh man, maybe Jacksonville might prove us wrong, and then they kind of fell back down to earth really quickly. The Texans, like we've been saying for weeks, it's just that O-line. It's the O-line. There's no replacement for D-Hop, really. Brandon Cooks he's slowly getting back into it, but that defense is depleted. Their O-line's depleted. Sean's running for his life, so can you really? And
they don't have that Arian Foster type of running back that they used to have either.
Yeah. They have David Johnson. He's not bad. David Johnson's not bad.
But he's no Arian Foster. Let's be real.
And that O-line is terrible.
Yeah.
And I think they even lost Tunzel or somebody for the year or something. But I think in this game it should be easier for Deshaun. I don't think Jacksonville really has a pass rush to kind of give him problems like that. So I'll say Texans 27, Jacksonville 14.
Alrighty. Next up, oh man, this is a good matchup we got here. We got the 5-2 Ravens against the 5-2 Colts. Now the Colts, despite their record, they're still another one of these under the radar teams that people really are sleeping on the Colts. But the Colts, they got some weapons, man. They got some spark, and it looks like old man Rivers is looking like he's making something happen with them. And the thing is, I didn't really expect that. And the Colts defense really isn't that bad. It's not really that bad either. The Baltimore Ravens, hell, what can you say? They're the Ravens. But, Lamar's looking lately he's been looking pretty vulnerable. He really has. And the thing is, despite that, they still got a hell of a running game. And the thing is, as long as Lamar doesn't fumble, as long as he takes care of the ball, and, something the thing is, they should be fine. Like I said, this really is, I don't know what the over-under is on this game. I think the Ravens might be favored slightly. But yeah, this game you really could go either way. You know what? I'm actually gonna go. I'm actually gonna be ballsy and pick the Colts in this game. Go ahead and give me the Colts in the. Yeah, I know. Go ahead and give me the Colts in this game. 27 to 20. 27 to 24 over the Ravens. Who you got? Ravens, Colts.
I gotta go with the Ravens here, and the reason why is their last two games against Deshaun and Ben. Those are two quarterbacks that are really good at making sure not to turn over the ball. And I would say, the last few years, Phillip Rivers, he's very turnover prone.
Yeah.
And he's shown this year on his Colts team that he can turn over the ball when you don't need him to. And I think this Baltimore's secondary is way too good to not capitalize on that. Marcus Peters will capitalize on easy. He's played against him in Kansas City, so he knows Phillip Rivers pretty well. It's not like Phillip has, his top receivers anymore. He's kind of working with some new guys now. I think think this Baltimore team can just give them fits, and especially if Lamar and them kind of get a nice little head start out the gate, which I think they can. I mean, we saw against Pittsburgh defense. I think they were like 17-7 at halftime.
Yeah.
So if you force Phillip Rivers to throw too much, I think you can take advantage of the turnovers there. So I'm kind of leaning towards Baltimore. I'm gonna say Ravens 30. I'm gonna say Ravens 30, Colts 24 in this game.
Alrighty. Next up, oh man, wow, we got a 5-star matchup here. We got the Seahawks at the Bills.
Oh man.
For everybody watching, good luck picking this game. But man, like I said, the Seahawks dropped one game, and it's like, I mean, come on, like it's just one game. And the Buffalo Bills, like I said, they're 6-2, and like I said, despite they're pretty much on top of the AFC East right now. So, but the thing is, a lot of people projected them to win the East this year anyway. So, yeah. The Seahawks, man, like offensively, they are a juggernaut. Like the thing is, they can damn near score at will. But I mean, I know how keen you are on this Bills defense. I mean, the thing is, like, I'm a believer too. I'm buying into the hype too, and not to mention, that Allen Magic, that Allen Magic, he can make it happen. And the thing is, the Bills are only losing to top tier teams. They're only losing to quality teams. And every other team, they had maybe like one or two close calls, against teams they were favored at, but they still pulled off the win. But yeah, like I said, this really is a tough matchup, and I don't know what the over under on this game is either. But this, I think it actually might be even, or like they said, the Seahawks maybe favor slightly. But I mean, this really is a 5-star matchup, and I'm going to be locked in for this one. But go on ahead and give me the Seahawks in this game, 31-28 over the Bills. Yeah, who you got? Seahawks, Bills. Do you think the Seahawks can put up? You think the Seahawks can put up 31 on the Bills?
I mean, if the Rams can put up 30, I think the Seahawks can.
Oh yeah.
It comes down to I don't think I can question the run game for the Seahawks, even with Carson out, because I mean, they just got backups is going crazy for that team. It comes down to can Russell Wilson outdo Josh Allen? That Seahawks defense isn't great, but they have some great pieces that can make plays on their team. We've seen like Jamal Adams. We've seen who's the linebacker? Man, I keep forgetting his name, but they have some great pieces on that defense that can make a play for that Seahawks. And Russ, once you give Russ the ball, I mean, he's going to make magic. We kind of slept on him the last couple of years just because we've gotten to that point where it's like, it's Russ.
Yeah.
But he's playing MVP. He's playing MVP season this year again.
Definitely.
Lockett and DK Metcalf, that man.
He's a creative player.
He's about to bully Josh Norman. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
I think he's going to bully Josh Norman. I think that'll be enough to kind of push them past this Bills team. Russ can make time on the play with his feet, so it's like I'm leaning towards the Seahawks in this one, even though the Bills defense is great. Josh Allen is going to have to play a hell of a game to beat this team. I just don't think he's going to be able to do it. I think I'm going to have to go with the Seahawks here.
Barring all injuries and COVID protocols and all that, this should be a pretty even fight, and the Falcons are at home in this game. And like I said, it's weird because now of all times, like when most teams are in tank mode, especially with a 2-6 record, now they want to win. And I don't think that a Broncos loss will hurt them because they can still hang around for a little bit, and maybe depending on their schedule for the next 7 weeks, they can probably stick a couple wins in there. I'm actually going to take the Falcons in this game just because a lot of people do not think that they're going to win. Go ahead and give me the Falcons in this game. 28-26 over the Broncos. Who you got? Broncos, Falcons.
I agree with you. I think the Falcons are going to take this. I think the last 2 games, they've they've kind of turned the page. It was unfortunate, the whole Gurley thing at the 1 yard line. They would have won that game. He had gone down at the 1.
Right.
The last game, they secured the deal against the Panthers. I think their offense is too good. I think their offense is too good for the Broncos to keep up with. Their defense is playing a little bit better. It's not the best, but I think it's enough to hold Lock. I think the Broncos are kind of just riding the high of the win against the Chargers. I would say probably more as I think Matt Ryan and Julio are kind of they're really on sync, and with Gurley in the backfield, you can't take your eyes off him for too long.
Right.
I just think it's a Falcons game where they win, and we don't actually sit there and go, man, Falcons are going to lose in the fourth quarter. So I'm going to say Falcons 31, Denver 20 this game.
Alrighty. Next up, we got the 7-0 Pittsburgh Steelers going on the road against the 2-6 Cowboys.
Easy.
On paper, this should be a clean sweep for the Steelers on paper. But with me being a lifelong Steelers fan, the Steelers have this nasty, disgusting little habit of playing down their competition and letting teams hang around for longer than they should. But it's just that the Cowboys are such a mess this year with injuries and not knowing whether they want to start their third string over their fourth. They're down to the third string and fourth string quarterbacks now. They're starting Ben DiNucci and what's his name? His last name is Rush, but yeah. And with Zeke, I mean, it seems like before every game he sticks his hands in a vat of Crisco because he can't hold on to the football worth a damn. And the Cowboys defense, don't even get me started on that. The Pittsburgh Steelers. What can you say about them this year? I mean, the first 4 weeks, people were like, well, they haven't faced a real team yet. Let's see if, what happens when they face some real competition. And their last 3 opponents have been pretty legit. That and the fact that we've got forced into an early bye week because of COVID. So, yeah, thank you, Titans, for that. But, yeah, like I said, there's no reason why the Steelers really shouldn't sweep this game. But like I said, with them, you never know. But like I said, the thing is, like, we've done decent on the road this year. Like I said, the only problem with the Steelers is, like I said, with all the top tier talent we have, we don't play a full 60 minutes. We either start off slow and finish incredibly strong, or we blow them out in the first half and allow them to catch back up. It's one of those two. We don't play a full 60 minutes. Hopefully the Cowboys don't exploit that, but I mean, with what their situation is right now, I don't see them doing that. Go on ahead and give me the Steelers in this game, 31-16 over the Cowboys. Who you got? Cowboys, Steelers.
Easy 8 now. You guys got this. Even I think Andy Dalton's probably going to be out of concussion protocol by now, but it doesn't matter. Steelers, they'll be able to stop Zeke. They'll be able to stop Dalton. Dalton's he's not a great quarterback. He's not a threat to you guys. Dan is healthy. Connor's healthy. You guys found a new wide receiver one in Claypool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Juju's still out there being Juju. I mean, the team should just demolish them. I mean,
all we have to do is not turn the ball over. That's it.
Yeah. And even if you do, even if you turn the ball over 3 times, I don't even think the Cowboys score 10 points. They're just getting blown out by every team ever since Zach went down, which I'm pretty sure they got paid that man like $40 million.
Yeah, definitely.
Or something, because they look like a mess without him.
Right now, as it stands, the Cowboys have a 16% chance of making the playoffs. 16%.
Yeah.
And the only reason why is because of the division that they're in.
Yeah, the division sucks.
Yeah.
It's an easy 8 now. I would say it's going to be like Steelers 33 to Cowboys, I don't know, like 10.
I got it 31-16. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, honestly, I think you guys could probably go 16 over the rest of your schedule. But I don't think that's gonna happen, but you know,
we have 2 hard games left.
Like third team.
Yeah. Like I said, out of our remaining schedule, we have 2 losable games. One against the Bills, and one is a home game against the Ravens on Thanksgiving Day. Yeah. All right. Next.
And I think both of those teams are beatable for you guys. So I mean.
Yeah. Definitely. All right. Next game, we got the 4-3 Dolphins. Never thought I'd say that in a while. We got the Dolphins going on the road against the Cardinals, and the Cardinals are dangerous. As long as they protect Kyler Murray, they are good because their running game is solid. Their wide receiving game speaks for itself. Even their defense is stepping up, especially their secondary. They probably have one of the most underrated secondaries in the league. The Cardinals do. But the Dolphins, like Tua Tagovailoa, man, he stepped up. He showed that he can actually make some stuff happen, especially if you can protect him too. Now the thing is, like, I guess it's like, rookie first year jitters. Like, he's turned the ball over a couple. I mean, he's fumbled a couple of times, but like I said, he can clean that up on his own time. But the Dolphins, they're just decent. Like, they're another one of these teams who are just not great at anything, but they're just overall solid. Like I said, I don't really see them making the playoffs this year, but the thing is, like, they're one of these teams who really could hang around, and once they get the right pieces to them, they could be a threat down the road. But come on, like the Cardinals, like. They got too many weapons right now to contend with. Go ahead and give me the Cardinals in this game, 28-20 over the Dolphins. Who you got? Cardinals, Dolphins.
I'm gonna use this as my upset game. I'm calling the upset game here. I think this is a game where we see Kyler turn over the ball surprisingly more than he's been doing lately. I think Tua surprises us and outduels him in the quarterback battle. That Dolphins defense is kind of a surprise to us, I think. I think they cause some trouble for Kyler Murray. And I don't know, I think Tua might be able to pull it off, man. I think he might be able to, go out there and surprise us a little bit. I think This might be that game where he tries to show us, like, I can go against these guys, especially a sophomore quarterback, Kyler Murray.
Right.
So I'm gonna go with the upset here. I'm going Dolphins. I think the Dolphins defense helps them out. They give them a little bit of leverage to beat Kyler. I'm saying Dolphins 27, Cardinals 23.
I wouldn't be surprised if you were actually right about this game. I really wouldn't. But like I said, one of the only reasons why is because this is a home game for the Cardinals. All right, next up, oh boy, a rematch for the NFC South. We got the 5-2 Saints against the 6-2 Bucks. Oh boy, now the Saints, despite their record, they've been in some dogfights this year. Like I said, their first loss of the season is to the Raiders. But last week, the Bucks, despite all their weapons, Antonio Brown's coming back this week, but despite all their weapons, they let the Giants give them a fight. They let the Giants give them all they can handle. This is a home game for the Bucks, though. And like I said, they blew out Aaron Rodgers' Packers. So, yeah, and the thing is, at this point, I think the Aaron Rodgers is better than Drew Brees is. But, I feel like that as long as the Bucks defense can key in on Alvin Kamara, if they don't let him get to his fourth gear, fifth gear, then I feel like that they can contain him. But also, the Saints got more than one way to spread the ball around because Taysom Hill's a Swiss Army knife. They got a decent tight end too. So the only thing about the Saints is that the holes that they have in their secondary, which Tom Brady can exploit. I don't think this is a repeat. Yeah, I don't think this is a repeat of the first game between the two. But I do have it close. And I think even though a Saints win would surprise me, I'm going to play it safe and pick the Bucks. Give me the Bucks in this game, 31-27 over the Saints. Who you got? Bucks, Saints.
I'm kind of going with the Saints here, just because Breeze is back. They got Michael Thomas back a couple weeks healthier.
Mm-hmm.
Kamara's out there. And they've seen more tape on the Bucks this year. They've seen more tape of Brady with this team. And I think the key point here is that Daniel Jones will lift this defense up. And Tom Brady, I mean, he's been playing well, but he's prone to some pick sixes out there.
Yeah.
And against like a Marcus Lattimore, against a Cam Jordan, those two can cause you to, screw up a couple of times. And with Drew Brees out there, you can't key in on Kamara because Michael Thomas is out.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, yeah, Brees can't throw down the field like he used to anymore, but I mean, with Michael Thomas out there, does it really matter? He's gonna get the ball. He's gonna get the ball to Michael Thomas.
Pretty much.
And if you try to stop him from getting the ball to Michael Thomas, he's gonna hurt you without him.
Exactly.
So I think I'm gonna agree with you. I think it's gonna be a close game. It's definitely gonna be close. I think Brady is kind of getting his rhythm now.
Mm-hmm. If you pick the Saints, I'm not mad.
I'm gonna lean towards Saints here.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards the Saints here. I'm gonna lean towards the Saints. I'm gonna say Saints 31, Bucks 28. But it could go either way. Definitely.
Really. Definitely. Especially since this is an NFC South matchup. So yeah. And also keep in mind that if the Saints do win this game, they'll be on top despite the record because they'll sweat the Bucks. So yeah. All right. Next up, our Monday night matchup. We got the 2-5 Patriots going against the winless Jets.
Oh God. What a game.
Yeah, I know. And this is like the NFC. I mean, this is like the AFC East equivalent. I mean, this is like the equivalent of the Cowboys and Eagles game on Sunday night. Now, here's the thing. If Cam gets protected and he doesn't turn the ball over, they should be all right. They really should.
Yeah, they'll be good.
Yeah, they should be fine if they don't get any turnovers. And the Jets don't even know what the hell they doing. Sam Darnold seeing ghosts. Now, the thing is, the only thing they have a prayer of is just, they have like a half of a prayer of a running game. Their receiving core is not even all that good. It's not even as good as it used to be. And their defense, especially their secondary, is laughable. No. The thing is, the Jets actually do have somewhat of a front seven. But like I said, that secondary is laughable. Like, that secondary can be shredded by even a halfway decent quarterback. Hell, Mitchell Trubisky could shred their secondary up. So, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and keep this one short, sweet, to the point. Like I said, as long as Cam doesn't turn the ball over, the Patriots should be fine. Even though this is the Jets' home game. Give me the Patriots in this game, 28-13 over the Jets.
I think it's going to be closer, and I think it's going to be low scoring because I don't know what it is, but Cam he has not been balling out like we saw him in the first 3 weeks, where we're like, oh, okay, Cam, he's going to be using his legs on the ground. He's going to be getting like 150 yards passing, 75 yards rush.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of as he gets back in the rhythm. But now it seems like the Patriots' offense is just kind of falling apart more and more. Mm-hmm. But their defense is still their defense. I mean, that defense can save them from Sam Darnold. And so,
yeah.
I think it's going to be low scoring just because I see Cam he's struggling to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think they don't know how to use him yet. He's not Brady where he can just kind of like read defenses for you and go out there and kill it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Patriots, so they still win this. I'm going to say it's like 17-10, though. Mm-hmm. Just because I just want to see Cam going crazy this game.
Alrighty. And, well, that'll pretty much wrap up our predictions for Week 9. Man, Week 9 already. But, yeah, any final thoughts before we sign out tonight?
Man, I hope the Chargers win the game finally.
Yeah.
I'm okay with Justin Herbert learning on the fly, but they got to start winning, or else I don't know. We might have to fire Coach Lynn or something. So,
yeah, I don't fire Coach Lynn. Don't fire him. But I mean, yeah.
I don't want to fire him. I hope they don't. But it just seems like if it's a losing year, they might do. So
yeah,
I'm hoping Herbert can save his coaching career.
Definitely. So. Yeah. My final thought is I just hope the Steelers don't play down with the Cowboys. I mean, because our last two games.
Hard.
Yeah, our last two games against them, we lost. One in overtime, and one because we got Zeke. We got the Zeke treatment. So yeah, and the thing is, like the last time we could have won on a trick play. So yeah, but I mean, like hopefully we don't play down our competition. But like I said, we're gonna see about that. But anyway, that'll wrap it up for our Week 9 Fourth and Goal podcast. As always, I'm your host. Thank you guys for watching. And also, Flip, thank you guys. Flip, thank you for hosting. Help me host the show, as always. All right, anyway. Yes, sir. We'll see you guys next week.